Islam Moors, apologies for the late start, but let's get ourselves going. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Islam. Islam Moors. Had a little change up today. We had a little closing scenes for a video shoot, that went longer than usual because, everybody's trying to mess with the energies once you're doing something. But we'll start with our proclamations to be read every meeting. I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people on our side of the nation that claim it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme that they can to disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that attribute to the movement and uplifting funds. The ones that paid their divine respect to me and the movement will be remembered. That is why I am calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet, and your divine Moorish movement. I need finance and I need it badly. Never before have I needed finance so badly as I do at present, so I can shove aside the discord that is facing the nation. It all comes through jealousy because of my fame and nobility. The nations of the world will not recognize the movement without I, the prophet, being head. It has been proven by my works, which I have performed in the past few years. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. To the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Islam, this is the instruction from your holy prophet, from your prophet Noble Drew Ali. Be faithful unto your forefathers' divine and national creed, that you will be blessed for your good deeds that you sow in the flesh. Allah is the one that judges the world, and his judgment is now on, but the weak can comprehend it not. It's drawing near, so says Allah to his divine prophet, I, Noble Drew Ali, and that's why many hearts have been turned to stone, many have eyes to see but cannot see, ears to hear but cannot hear, lest they would be confounded of their sins. These are trying hours now, dear Moors, and every evil spirit is moving, and they are trying every weak mind to overthrow and drag out the true foundation that has been laid, and to cause confusion in the minds of the ones that do believe. But if you have the true love of Allah and the spirit of your forefathers, you fear not what you hear or see, but will sacrifice the utmost of your very life to protect your movement and your prophet. Watch your enemies, dear Moors. Your enemies are the ones that speak against your prophet and ridicule him to the very lowest, and the ones that speak against your divine and national principles of your temples. Act accordingly, and Allah will bless you for your good work. Peace, your divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Keep in mind, this is birthright, so whether we're left side, right side, back, kind of in the back, no tassel, front, doesn't matter. This is birthrights. So don't listen to people trying to convince you that you have a 360-degree tassel, but it's supposed to be just stuck on one side to prove that you're really who you say you are. That's BS. That's people's little group BS that they're trying to get you to think that you can't exercise your birthright. Always keep in mind that this is about birthrights. This is not a club that you're joining. It's birthrights. You're the club. Join your own stuff. Stop following people. We got a message yesterday from an individual who paid those so-called counseling whoever's, paid them, actually put money in their hands or whatever for a document that they don't even know if they can use it, but they paid. And then consultation mores get questioned on what they sold as far as the document, they delete people. Even though they paid, they delete people. But then they're gonna say that they never deleted Kudro or whatever like that. They never blocked me. But you know, random individual. Random to the point where she doesn't even know about nationality and birthrights. That she has a black mind, that he has some knowledge, enough knowledge, study and such, but nationality and birthrights isn't really there. Now, these same individuals who are selling stuff to people, which is their birthright that they should be given to them, tell the brother that they have a nationality. All they were interested in was selling them their paperwork that they had to sell. These are the consultation people who they've been going on their little campaign lately, you know, trying to discredit Kudro, like Kudro never put them on. Trying to make Kudro look like, you know, he's whatever, but, you know, problems when we were in each other's presence, you know, it was all love. So it's interesting how people come into this for the right reasons and get steered in a different direction. Whether it's them being steered or something has hold of them and is steering them, they're steered. They're so off the path right now. They're in the pick a bush right now. They're making claims from the pick a bush. You know, the thorn bush, poison ivy patch is where they're telling people to come on to their classes. In the poison ivy patch, right? A majority of people, like brother that contacted us, he's so set that it wasn't even nothing given the 100. So in order for these individuals to be able to rate people, they have to, it's a must now, right? They have to not be sincere with people. They have to not be sincere. Right? They have to not be sincere. Like, for example, for the past maybe year and a half, there's been an influx of people coming into this already taken some steps with regard to study. And then they're coming to us just to get, you know, a broader perspective than what they have, right? No fees, no charges, no whatever, phone call, email, whatever it is, whatever information, questions that they got, you know, as you know, people could send us emails, we'll answer them, and No big deal. Ain't no consultation fee for that. No, there's no charge for that. That people are waking up to this nationality and birthrights. Other people know that people are waking up to their nationality and birthrights and take it upon themselves to take the position than thou. So they have the info, you don't. And since you don't, then we got a class over here. But give us 100 up front. We'll give you some stuff to go study. It's going to be whatever day you pay the other 100 then, or whatever it is, that whatever arrangement they make out with these people. Let it be known that as soon as you hear Moors, things that aren't, it doesn't really register in your brain why they're charging for this. As soon as you have that thought, understand that these people are opportunists. As soon as you know that Moors can send for free. Free mail, we could send mail for free. All right, what you got? Well, we got hats, jackets, you know what I mean? You want, you know what I mean? But free shipping because we could send mail for free. But then shipping charges, extra stuff. You know, they already told you what the price is or whatever. The order or whatever it is, you realize that, you know, price is a little higher, you know, and you think, hey, ain't nothing, whatever. No, they're tacking on extra. Because some way, somehow, the opportunists have to get you for the opportunists. They have to get you. And again, individuals who are information tag is an amount. Once they have a tag on, once they put a tag on, and know that they are about playing you. It's not supposed to be they're your brother or sister. They're charging you for things that you wouldn't normally. So we just wanted to put it out there that we got a confirmation from someone who dealt with those people that they and those individuals chose to block them, the brother / sister, questioning them on the credibility of this thing that they sold them. Defend what they sold them, they just deleted the individual. That should let you know how these people do. Convinced, then, you know, go get played. Convinced, go get played. Mysteries, the Hood of the East. Chapter 12. Yahshua explains to Casper the meaning of silence and the wisdom of Allah in man. Now in the early morning, came again to teach and heal. Comprehended, shone about as though some mighty spirit overshadowed him. Jonas noted this and asked him privately to tell from whence his wisdom came and what is the meaning of the light. said, where the soul may meet its God Allah, and there wisdom is, and all who enter are immersed in light and filled with wisdom, love, and power. He said, tell me about this silence and this light that I may go there and abide. The silence is not circumscribed. It's closed in with walls or rocky steps, or guarded by swords of man. Carry with them all the time the secret lace where they meet Allah. Matters not where men abide, on mountaintop, in the markets of trade, or in a quiet home. They may at one time door of the soul and find the house of Allah. One may not be by noise of business and words and thoughts of men. It goes all alone into the valley or the mountain pass. And when life's heavy load is pressing hard, better to go out and seek a quiet place to pray and meditate. The silence is the kingdom of the soul, which is not seen by human eyes. Phantom forms may flirt before the mind, but they are all subservient to the will. The master soul may speak and they are gone. If you would find this silence of the soul, you must also prepare the way. None but the pure in heart may enter here. Insincere, ungrateful bastards, opportunists, dirty Moors, or whatever like that, they're never going to find that place in the soul. Right? Never. Because they're not pure in heart. Pure in heart, maybe there's a possibility. But based on the actions, that they lack a level of purity that is going to have project them to you as a salvation. Majority of people, you ask them who put them on, they'll say Taj Street Bay. And that's just what it is. The higher forces, the ancestors, that soul. And they use that soul at their will to get out whatever needs to get out for the people to come into their right mind. Those who are pure in heart are going to pick up on the message immediately. And acting accordingly comes from self, from what somebody, whatever. Acting accordingly is what the soul dictates. If the soul is dictating to $5 grand for papers and charge people to have a phone call and paper that you got from somebody for free that you edited, and now you say that's my paper because I edited it, and then you sell it for what you got it for, which was free. These people are not pure in heart. Period. All fears and doubts and troubled thoughts. Your human will must be absorbed by love divine into a consciousness of the holy breath. Then you will come into a consciousness of the holy breath after the human will has absorbed, after the human will is absorbed by love divine. Moors learn to love instead of hate. Love is the first principle. You are within a holy place, and you will see upon a living shrine the candle of Allah aflame. See it burning there. Look deep within the temple of your brain. You will see it all aglow. Into the temple of your brain. in order for you to see the candle of Allah's flame. Candle, forget the wax. The flame is like an acorn. This idea of the flame is the activation of the pineal gland, Kundalini energy, flame, lights the wick, sends the smoke signals, eliminating the halo or the glow, or different scriptures that tell you about their countenance was shining like whatever. Right? They're talking about people who are on the frequency, and being that they're on the frequency of vibration, and that vibration at an accelerated rate, these individuals to glow, to give off a particular energy. People who are on the path will know who to trust, not to trust. From head to foot are candles all in place, just waiting to be lighted by the flaming torch of love. See the candles all aflame, just look. With eyes of soul, the waters of the fount of wisdom rushing on, and you may drink and there abide. Curtains part where the ark of Allah rests, whose coverings is the mercy seat. To lift the sacred board are in the ark concealed. Take them and read them well. All the precepts that man will ever need. Take them of the law that are in the ark, the tables of the law. Take them and read them well. Study, study, study. The card is going to come. Go study. When they're going to come, go study. Who's going to be sending the paper to confirm you're in the temple or whatever? Go study. Take studying. Those things that you're waiting for are going to come unexpectedly, and they would mean more when they get here. If you're sitting waiting, it's just like you put the will out, whatever, and then you're sitting there waiting. Okay, well, I put it out there, they said thought projection, whatever like that. So I put the thought out. Okay, so when's it gonna? As soon as you start playing, you're waiting. Stuff's never gonna come. Time is an illusion. So you're putting yourself in a place, illusion, before you even get out of the illusion. This is why people bring to Brother Amari 20 times before they get the autograph, because they're not studying. So it's useless. We will be doing you a disservice to give you a nationality card or papers to the temple if your mind's warped. We'll be doing you a disservice. And then when we give it, and then you go out there, do something crazy or whatever like that, then you come back to us for help, and we say, well, what do you mean help? You claim that you're Moorish American. If you got that card, you know that you're not Negro, black, colored, so you have to be on the level. There's no, and you're not prepared for if something goes down. You better know what you're talking about. Mind who you are for yourself. Forget what somebody said on some video. You better know for yourself how it goes down. and in the ark the magic wand, for they contained all prophecy, lies waiting for your hands. It is the key to all hidden meanings of the present, future, and past. The cherubim have guarded very well for every soul this treasure box, and whosoever will may enter in and find his own. If you don't want to enter, hey, no worries. Ain't nobody giving you nothing. There's no handout. Be a divine being. Either you're not going to be a divine being, or you will enter and find your own divinity. But remember, you're entering in, not in that way, in this way. You're entering in yourself, soul, into your mind. You're becoming one with the spirit to do whatever it is that you're doing, as far as, for the nation is concerned. Jasper heard the Hebrew master speak, and he exclaimed, "Behold, the wisdom of Allah has come to men." And Joshua went his way, and in the sacred grove of Cyrus was met. He taught and healed the sick. Go back to the cherubim have guarded this treasure box, and whoever will enter it and find his own. And revisit Friday's so-called court session with Brother Lanre Bay. Know that if you haven't, 27th Letters, Brother Lanre's book, you get the book, the story. After the book, after the incarceration and coming into this information, we say that, and this is the same thing for other people who had long stints in penitentiary, that when they get out and they get on this information, they get harassed, bothered, discriminated against, whatever, because the quote unquote, highwaymen are familiar with them, and it's supposed to be the norm. It's not what it is, right? That they're presenting. It's supposed to be their niggers, you know what I mean? Revolving door and all that type of stuff, whatever, right? But in any case, once you have individuals who have been to that place called penitentiary, jail, whatever, extended periods of time, these people have a totally different mindset as to birthrights than the people who haven't been in that situation. So, for Moors who are waiting on the instruments, whether you've been waiting 2 weeks, a week, a month, 5 months, a year, whatever, it doesn't matter. The people who are waiting on instruments, Bay is an example of before papers and cards, because he was going to court and all that stuff, beating these people up before he had nationality card. Nationality card late. That he was still standing on his birthrights based on mindset only, nothing else. He went to the tribunal for the breach of conditions, and suspended license. Court was supposed to start o'clock, didn't start till 11. Okay, it was supposed to start at 10. It didn't start till 11. Maybe 10:45 or whatever. The reason why court didn't start at 5 is because from 10 o'clock, while we were waiting for, they're in the court system calling us to come to court. But PA system is broken. You know, it was the prosecutor or whoever came out, and they were, you know, saying, oh, you know, anybody here for whatever? Like, yeah, you know, oh, well, we've been calling you on the PA system. So when he went inside, I went to the court clerk office because they're saying, you know, so I go to the court clerk office. Yeah, you they say that you've been calling us, but we're not hearing you. Oh, no, it's not. It wasn't us or whatever. Actually call you. It's not the clerk's office. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? So go back to the room, you know, let them know, you know, went to the court, said it's y'all. So we want to know, you know, like, how what you guys trying to set up a ex parte so you can kidnap him on a bench warrant? Oh, no. It's not like that. You know, PA system's broken. We didn't know it wasn't working. That's why, you know, or whatever. So, oh yeah, and keep in mind that we were in room 304, right? And in that room was 2 other people. One individual, they didn't even have his case. The other individual that was there, he was only there for sentencing because he was already and all that stuff, stole millions of dollars from United Way or something like that. And, you know, it was in the news and all that. I think the dude's name was Reese something. So he had to do, I think, 16 months or something like that, 198 grand. That was his sentence, right? Now, remember, he stole millions, but, you know, he just has to pay back 198 grand and he's cool. You know, so if he has, you know, the finance and it wasn't recovered or whatever, 198 grand ain't really on how they were acting, what he took was nothing, you know what I mean? So after he got sentenced or whatever, you know, they brought him kind of where we were sitting, right? For some strange, weird reason, from what I understand, when people get kidnapped from court, like they're next to their lawyer, and then stand up or whatever, they read the sentence, and then the bailiff next to where they were and put the cuffs on or whatever. So we think that it was a tactic to try to on brother Lanre Obey by doing this in front of him where he's sitting. Because there's no reason, if the guy's sentencing and he's guilty, then why you letting him come back into the gallery? They called policy guy. Them show up. And then the other 2 that show up, they showed up on some, you know, oh, you guys called, like, they didn't know that somebody already answered the call or whatever. They do their little whatever. Now, we know that in this jurisdiction, going to these tribunals, that it's to present yourself through some type of documentation, right? Again, because of mindset, Brother Lanre, he ain't hearing that. You know what I mean? Names right there, dates right here, and go in there and then, okay? Again, because of mindset, because of looking within for his salvation, not looking externally or whatever like that, taking all the evidence from the case, it, and for himself expressing what will come to realize with regard to, you know, I mean, his matters that he's dealing with. JP, the Justice of the Peace, was an Asiatic sister. This is the first time in the history of Lanre Obey cases, trials or whatever, he got an Asiatic magistrate. Not only was she an Asiatic, but she had locks. You know, some people might look at it as nothing, but what brother's been through with past cases, you know, we're looking at this as, you know, his 360. First came out and he was dealing with BS when he just came out. That was the court. His stuff was happening in. Same one that we went to. And remember, that was with Negro mindset. And then now, 360, back at the same court with Moorish mindset, and things, you know, start getting a little weird. You know what I mean? Again, with the judge. The prosecutor is the assistant prosecutor. The head prosecutor, for whatever reason, on this day, decide, you know, do this on this day. All the time before, she was there. This day, they send the assistant in. The assistant, blue eye, blonde hair, lanky, one of them boy there, right? Feminine boy. Aryan. I remember. And his actual name is Aryan. The prosecutor, that's his name, Aryan. Up yet? So we're in room 304. Asiatic judge, first time ever. First time ever. Asiatic, but she had locks. Prosecutor is by named Aryan. As, oh yeah, and don't forget the arresting officer, Turbinator. So prior to the so-called trial starting, before the so-called lawyers came, it was me, Brother Lanre, and Turbinator were outside the room. So Lanre will be, you know, just, you know, making convo because, you know, everybody's friends. Floor, whatever happened, that while you're in court doesn't even matter. Prosecutors cracking jokes with us or whatever like that. We're cracking jokes with the prosecutor, and you know, like, we're doing that out of just, you know, we're here, so we'll make conversation with these people, see if they give up some goods or whatever like that. Which, you know, for example, Turbinator gave up some goods. So Brother Lanre Obey asked him, "What's your background?" Like, what, you know, what's your background? Later said, "For now, Canadian." for now. It's Canadian. And, you know, you look at each other. So he clearly he knows what's up. If that's going to be his answer to what's your background. So Lanre keeps stressing the point, you know, no, not, okay, before that, before Canadian, what's your whatever. So he put on Lanre, you know what I am? Like, look, justice or whatever like that. He walks away, jumps on his phone, right? So I guess he called his lawyer, find out, you know, if he can talk or should he talk or whatever. So as the, you know, but Lanre pulled that one when he had Turbinator on the stand, right? Now, the prosecution's position was, you know, he's guilty. They gotta, you know, bring their so-called witnesses. You know what I mean? They had two witnesses. They had Turbinator, right? Remember, he's the one that was arresting, but he's their witness. Which, right? He's the arresting officer, and he's the witness for the prosecutor's case against him, right? Again, you know, we already know that they're colored, conflict of interest, misrepresentation, know that this is where they're at. Witness is who took over Lanre Obey's old apartment, because part of him being arrested from the video when we were on the street and the highwayman was going around trying to get everybody to be, you know, the same blue-eyed highwayman, right, was going around trying to get everybody to, you know, do something so they could do something. From that same day, it was based on his conditions, he was supposed to be at an address. His address changed. So because that changed and he didn't let the parole people or whatever know, kidnapped for breach of conditions. He didn't get kidnapped because he didn't have a license, like how you hear so-called Morisco world and stuff like that. And you'll see, look, you know, they say your nationality card doesn't work. He got kidnapped because he didn't have a license. No, he got kidnapped because conditions that were breached. But once you correct, you know, like we said, the kidnap wasn't nothing crazy, you know what I mean? Breach the thing, no big deal. You know what I mean? It was his error, right? The lady who owned the apartment is a Filipino lady. Apartment now. She's been in Toronto, she said, for 30 years she's lived here. Never once been to court, never once had anything to do with police or anything like that, never once had anything to do with law or whatever, nothing. So she came with her console, which was, because the landlady's familiar with, you know, people kicking the doors and stuff like that. They're supposed to have certain stuff, blah, blah, blah. So they throw her up on the stand. She was up there for just some minutes. They just wanted to know, you know, does she know him? Well, I mean, if she just moved into his old house, clearly they don't know each other. You know what I mean, like this should be something that was established, that you don't even need to put her on the stand for that. And again, we're looking at indigenous people, because even though she's not from here, right? Because she's moral, she's tied to over here. So they already have in their mindset how they're going to deal with her. And how they dealt with her was, you know, knock the door. Hi, how you doing? Do you know this man or whatever? No, I've seen him before. You mind if we come inside and take a look or whatever like that? Oh yeah, sure, you know, come on in, because they already know that she doesn't know what's up. Right? So they go in the house, they check stuff or whatever like that, you know what I mean? But only one highwayman went inside. The other two highwaymen stayed outside. So she's like, well, yo, y'all not coming in? They're telling her, nah, we're not allowed to come in or whatever like that. He has to go, whoever that individual was. And then the second time, the second visit that they did to her, they already changed the mailing location, all that. They already know where Brother Lanre Obey lives. Ain't no way that they're going back to this lady again after they know that where he's at, where they need to go. So Turbinator was the one that went, you know, but she never let him in or whatever at that point. She was like, you know, I was in contact with my landlord or whatever, and they said, if anybody comes or whatever, for you guys to go deal with them. You know, just after she got her little console, now she knows what to do. So she was up there for seconds. They put her up. You know what I mean? Brother Lanre went up, was using her to show that the highwaymen basically were violating their position. And whatever reason that was not accepted as, you know, evidence or whatever. And they kept sticking to the point of, well, you know, well, why are you still asking her questions? Because, you know, she already said she doesn't know you. So why, you know, like trying to make it look like he's tormenting her by asking her these questions relative to these highwaymen that came to her house without a warrant, these highwaymen that pretty much barged into her house. You know what I mean? They say, she said that she let them in. When we were talking to her outside, she let them in out of fear because she never dealt with police before. She never let them in because she wanted to. The rest in coercion. So this is where Brother Lanre was going in questioning her, and then, you know, they pretty much shut him down, said, no, you can't be asking her that. She already, whatever, you know, we don't need to know that or whatever. When that's part of the case, according to him, because if you know where I live at, why are you going to this lady's house, to her house? What's the purpose of going to her house? You know what I mean? So she gets off the stand, and then they call before, like from 11 o'clock to, I think, 1 was when they went on lunch. They had, I think, 2 breaks in between that time, right? And the breaks are always because something they need to, whatever, right? So they took these 2 breaks. So a lunch break comes. You take lunch break. We're like, okay, well, you know, let's go get something to eat. We go outside, go get something to eat. There's a brother, Preston, Elder Preston, in a car. He's just sitting in his car, chilling, waiting for his mom in the bank. Excuse me, you guys come here a second or whatever like that. I don't know if this is normal or whatever like that, but like, why are you guys wearing those things? You're just sitting in his car chilling. Why are you guys wearing this? Like, yeah, how come you're asking? He's like, well, you know, I mean, I love knowledge. Like, I love to know stuff. I love to know something new. And those stuff is new. So I need to know what the hell going on. So, you know, so we sit there, we build with him for a little bit. You know what I mean? He was from Grenada. You know what I mean? So again, already there was that connection, you know, the island brotherhood, whatever. So, you know, we had a good build, you know, gave him newspaper and all that, you know what I mean? And he was open to learning more, you know what I'm saying? So that was just to put out for Moors who are in the public, you know, wearing their national garb, to keep your scan open, who might be trying to reach out. You know what I mean? Like, it's only because I looked at the car were we able to make contact for him to say, call over, right? If I don't think he would have said anything if I didn't look. So make sure that you have your scan open so that these people who are seeking knowledge, because right now it's a time of, you know, people seeking, people trying to find the way, and trust that they're looking for Moors to show them the way. They might not know that they're looking for Moors, but when you encounter them and you start telling them what this is, like, for example, like he was saying how, you know, just the fact that you're giving me a new name. Like, I never heard that we were Moors. You know, because every time he would, and this is first meeting, right? Every time he would say, yeah, well, black people, and then he'll stop because, you know, prior, in the beginning of the conversation, we broke it down, like why we're not black and all that. So he was correcting himself on the spot. This is just, he's just getting this info. And he's realizing, oh, I just said black. Well, you know what I mean, or whatever. You know, we give him the pass because we already know that he's going through the detox. He's going through the exorcism. On the spot, he's going through the exorcism. You know what I mean? So much thoughts going through his mind, like you're seeing him thinking while he's talking, right? So that was a bonus, you know what I mean? Connecting with the elder, giving him some information. So he head back to court, and you know, Terminator's still back on the stand, and you know, Brother Lanre now is pretty much everything that he's internalized up after he internalized it or whatever like that. So now he just has the pot on the inside, and he's just, you know, pouring out, you know, little bit, pouring out, you know, and he's questioning Turbinator. For example, he questioned Turbinator on, you know, were the signs visible? You know what I mean? Turbinator was like, yeah, signs visible, whatever. I went up there 3-4 times, you know what I mean? Our station is up the street. They've been doing construction so long. We know that there's signs there. The signs are visible. You can't say that the signs are visible. You know, Lanre kept stressing to him, you know, oh, so to you, the signs are visible. So to you, the signs are visible. Oh, so you were able to see the signs, all right. And then he asked the question, well, how many people y'all pull over? Well, I don't know how many, you know, we pulled you over, we pulled over some other people. No, how many people for the day? Oh, we don't know. We don't keep stats of how many people or whatever like that, you know. But we pulled over people. Okay. So if you pulled over people, maybe those signs that you claim are visible weren't really that visible. I mean, the judge is sitting there looking at Turbinator, just waiting for him to answer or whatever. And Turbinator's, well, let me check my notes, and well, the signs, and there's no trees, and we're going into, you know, already got him, right? So Terminator brought up Brother Lanre gave him a nationality card. But he kept just calling it a card. Well, the card, and then, you know, Lanre, oh, the nationality card? Oh, yeah, nationality card. Well, what did it say on it? The card said whatever, and it said American. Huh? We didn't hear you well. What did you just say? What did the card say as the nationality part? Or American. Judge, could you tell him talk up or whatever? Because and then he fixed the mic or whatever. Excuse me, more American. Okay, now we heard you. Thanks for that. Because you're kind of mumbling that first part. How come you mumble in the first part? You know, you're not questioning whatever, going on into the story in his notes that Lanre was black. So, you know, drew his card from outside. Hey. So the card, you know, he brought up the card. This was the other good thing that was funny. Again, because of the fraudulent position of the prosecutor, because they have no case, they're just going through the motions. Everybody knows that you can't just bring evidence on the day. Like, prosecutor would have had to get disclosure of all the evidence, all the witnesses or whatever like that prior. Evidence from law enforcement code of ethics, the transcripts from his prior cases where it says Lanre obey on the court document, you know what I mean? So he's trying to prove his status, right? The driver's license that they were using as evidence against him, receipts that he had, his book, newspapers, all that stuff was in-hand stuff that he brought. That, oh, I want to submit whatever to evidence. Oh, you got to check with the prosecutor. Oh, prosecutor, you got a problem with this or whatever? Nope, sorry, no problem. He's not even looking at the stuff. How are you not looking at the evidence that's being presented for your client? You're not looking at no evidence? Well, he did look at the transcripts, and he read the transcripts, right? Which again goes back to that thing of, you know, the boys network. So that's their transcripts. So yeah, they're gonna take their stuff and use that as a reference. You know, that came from quote unquote the courts. The license that was so-called expired with the expiry date that Lanre put evidence. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure, he can submit that. You know, the book, well, this book's in the Library of Congress under Lanre Obey. So how are you guys trying to say that I'm a name on some instrument when I have stuff in the Library of Congress under Lanre Obey? Oh, you submit this? Oh yeah, no problem. Every piece of evidence submitted, no problem whatsoever. So again, with Terminator on the stand, we know that they hung him out to dry. We know that he was the scapegoat so that they don't get it. With him identifying Brother Lanre as black, even though Brother Lanre gave him a nationality card saying that, you know, his nationality is Moorish American. To him. So if I gave you a nationality card that says one thing, and you're trying to use a license that says black, isn't it obvious which one I am? Like, is it not obvious which one I am? You know what I mean? And the judge is looking at Terminator. And Terminator said, no, go check the notes. Well, you know, I only said black because of whatever and all this, and, you know, all that is hearsay, which, you know, you have no case. As soon as your evidence is hearsay, they got to go through their motions. They have to go through their motions. It's only natural that they go through the motions. Because remember, this is a new judge that they brought in. So she has to hear everything. It's not quote unquote judges from before. This is a new one, new prosecutor, like, which is the assistant to the head prosecutor, like the city prosecutor's assistant is who they put on the case. Why wouldn't the crown, if his case was that big or whatever, why wouldn't the crown prosecutor just deal with it? Why would they send the assistant? Clearly, they have no case. Why don't they have no case? Because status is the first issue. And from the pullover, Brother Lanre put it on the record of his status. Did he put it on the record as his status? But Terminator, in his notes, was saying, well, he told me that he's not a driver because that's commercial, and that he's a traveler, and he gave me a card, and that's when he started talking about the card, and, you know what I mean, he never seen that before, you know what I mean, he didn't know if it's real, should he accept this or not. But the transcript from Brother Lanre's case at the Petro-Canada, the judge ruled that 2 pieces of ID, picture, matching, mailing location, is enough to qualify it as legitimate. Doesn't matter where it came from. Once there's a picture on it and the mailing location matches the both piece quote unquote identification, then they have no need to ask for a license or birth certificate or anything else. Wave over that, because if they go there, they got no case. So all these things they're going over, in the end, we're sitting and the judge comes and says, well, you guys need to talk about this. You guys need to talk about this because I'm not even making no decision on this. The prosecutor's mad, you know what I mean? Why you make a decision right now and all this stuff? The judge's like, no. When you set this date up, I wasn't here for this part. I went outside to do something, but they wanted to set the date up for October 3rd or something like that. Lanre's like, no, hell no, that doesn't work for me or whatever like that. You guys are gonna do stuff on my time. November 1st is when I'm coming back. So they agree, that's the date, right? And knowing that he has to go back on November 1st, the judge said, well, on that day, I have some other cases to deal with. But what I would suggest that you do, prosecutor, is that you find somebody to have an in-chambers hearing so you guys can resolve this. I remember by this time it's 4 o'clock. This has been put in. He's said their part. And what the quote unquote judge came up with, remember, this is, 2 charges of suspended license, 1 charge of breaching, one charge of breaching. Let me just find this thing so I can tell you exactly the charges. Okay, so the charges are as follows. Fail to comply to his whatever, driving without license 2, and proceed something or the other, I think through no turn or some BS or whatever, right? Yeah, so those are the 4 charges. So they set the court date for ahead, and in them setting the court date ahead, case closed, judge goes about his business. So we're in there now, we're talking with the prosecutor. Lanre is telling them, well, since you guys started late today, hour late, like, should we just come for 1 o'clock? Oh, no, you can't do that. You got to come for 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. If you don't come for 10 o'clock, they're going to issue a bench warrant. Lanre look at each other. Lanre starts laughing, he's like, bench warrant, you guys think you're worried about that? The prosecutor goes, well, you'll go to jail, and, if they say a bench warrant, then you guys have jail time and all this stuff. Jail time? Like, you guys know, I just did 8. Like, what do you mean jail time? jail time? You keep thinking that. Prosecutor tells Brother Lanre, remember, this is off the record, right? But, you know, that's why we're putting it on the record. He tells Lanre, you know, if you just get a license, all this could be over. Why don't you just get a license? Like, why don't you just get a license? We don't have to deal with none of this. So take note at what these people are using these instruments for. They're using these instruments to hold you to corporate obligations that you do not have to be held to. Only if you consent. Go get a license and don't reserve your rights. Go get a social, don't reserve your rights. Go get a health card. Go get a passport. Go get whatever it is that they say that they're offering and don't reserve your rights. You're consenting to be in their property. And keep in mind, remember, Buddy's name's Aryan. So we already know his mindset just because he is his parents. And if his parents are going to name him that, clearly they're on some different frequency. They're going to name him that. Right? So it was, I want to give it up to Brother Lanre Obey for one, not calling the whole world or whatever like that to come there with him. I need support because I have a court. I want all the boys go to my court trial because whatever. You don't need none of that. Square standing. You need none of that. Right? No, like my intention wasn't even to go. Only cause no job that day. So why not? Let's go see what happens at Lanre's court stuff. Because I only been to one or two, you know what I mean? And he's always has court, and he never calls anybody. You always hear about the day after or after you get the call, they had court today and they adjourned, or they recessed all day, or they set it up for a new day. And there's never convictions, always move ahead, court dates, go ahead or whatever like that, then stuff just disappears. Dates, or he goes to court and then stuff gets dismissed or whatever. All right. So for people out here, this is an example of this has to be in your mind, body, soul first. If you're saying nationality and birthrights out here, you better know they're not giving you passes out here. Don't get caught up in the slave escape to the north because there was no slavery here. There was slavery here. We used to go to Ajax back in the day to see KKK burn crosses in Ajax, when that was bush, before there were houses there, and that was just barren fields. That's where KKK used to go burn their crosses and stuff like that, right? So this is not some jurisdiction in the lily white Canada and all that. That ain't what this is. These people are more corrupt up here even than U.S. Because at least in U.S. you have a de jure jurisdiction underneath the de facto. Here, there's no de jure. It is de facto from top to bottom. It's de facto. And remember that Canada is a state of the United States corpse. Canada is not a country that is a corporation, is owned whatever. It's a state. So being that it's a state of United States of America, because it's in North America, just like Brazil, Colombia, you know what I mean? West Indies, all of that is part of the United States of America. The geographical location, I'm not talking about any type of governments or anything like that. The geographical location is United States of America. And being that they're a state of U.S., they have the colorable power to make up their own rules. And then if you consent, then that's what the rules are. The stuff that the fiction people set up. And everybody's consented, which is why the fiction is so strong. Right? Since 1867, the fiction's been established. And the fiction has continued on because people continue to consent. Another reason why the judge told the prosecutor to do the in-chambers hearing is because Brother Lanre Obey brought up the Dred Scott case when the Turbinator said that he was black. When he brought up the Dred Scott case, the judge said that this is now a charter issue, Charter of Rights and Freedoms issue, because he brought up case law. Where did Dred Scott happen again? Not in Canaanland. Okay, so Dred Scott case didn't happen in Canaanland, but magistrate, justice of the peace up here took his statement of using the Dred Scott case, which is not from here, and applying it to a case from here in order to bring in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Because what Brother Lanre's claim is that he's indigenous, he's not black. So if he's not black, then what are we doing? Like, what are we doing in this venue? There's no way that this is supposed to be the venue, which goes back that we did year and a half, 2 years ago with Grand Sheik Nature, when he was telling the Moors, the court put in a motion to have an in-chambers hearing and go deal with your stuff behind closed doors. Forget go on the court floor. There's no need to go on the court floor if you can call an in-chambers hearing and deal with it one-on-one. You, the judge, the prosecutor, get this thing done with behind closed doors. If you're national, if you're Moorish American, if you know about status is the first issue at law, then that's how you should be presenting if something has to go to these tribunals. And again, the mother with the locks put it on the record for us so that we know that's how it really supposed to go when we go into those jurisdictions. That we're not supposed to be on the floor. We're supposed to have our little private room, even though the floor was a private room because, you know, they only had 3 rows, right? They actually had 6 rows, but, you know, they had the church bench, 3, and then 3 on the other side, right? The aisle down the middle. Judge, stenographer, clerk of the court, Lanre Obey, myself. They didn't have any bailiffs in the court when we were there. They only came in to grab the other guy, but other than that, they weren't even there, right? So it was technically a closed door session just for us. Like everybody else is going into all the other courts for their stuff. Nobody coming into ours, right? So the in-chambers hearing is what you would request if you have tribunal here and you're in a national status, whether it's a motion or whatever, the court already has these forms, documentation, whatever, in chambers hearing. And then set that up and deal with your stuff behind closed doors. That's really the only way that they should be dealing with us, because, you know, we're not black. We're not wards of the crown. So there's no need for us to go into the actual room where the trials and such are taking place. Now, again, you know, something that is being presented because somebody went into the room and then we got information that we're given out that happened in the room, right? Be in certain situations, there's going to be sacrifices that are going to have to be made with regard to the birthright. And, you know, if Drew Ali said, you know, defend this at the defense of your life, then, you know, what you got to do is, if they're gonna take you out anyways, you might as well put everything on the record, just so you know you put everything on the record, right? And again, remember that Brother Lanre, every single case that he's gotten is due to him presenting nationality card, not a license. And why they're mad is because they're trying to use a license. Actually, let me say it like this. So Turbinator was on the stand, and brought up the expired license. Ask Turbinator. You know what expired means? Yeah. Means, yeah. How is it possible for you to identify me and claim that you're identifying me through this suspended instrument that was suspended in 2012 or whatever like that, but it's been expired since 2003? And the judge is just looking at Terminator like, right? And then, you know, he goes in his notes, well, I'm not the Ministry of Transportation, and I don't know how they do their things, but you're supposed to have a license, and it expired on 2013. So if it's expired and then you're driving, then we're going to stop you because but 2003, and it was suspended after it was expired. And 10 years later, you suspended it? Like, why didn't you suspend it when it expired? So always his stuff has to deal with this so-called license that's been expired since 2003, that they keep saying is suspended in 2013. And, oh, well, that's him. He doesn't have long hair in the picture or whatever, but, we know that's him. Okay, but you're using something expired. And again, this is just to let people know how colorable these people are. Don't take them, for a joke, but don't take them serious when they do certain stuff and talk certain stuff. A joke. But at the same time, don't take them too serious, because they're really pushing color hard right now. They're pushing color hard. Right? It was lax before. Now they're forcing you to be colorable. People can't even reserve their rights now on stuff. And we're not even talking grand things. We're not even talking grand things. We're saying, like, any type of contract having to do with anything, right? They're telling you that you can't reserve your rights on it. But, you know, movies can reserve their rights, and people could have trademark symbol on stuff and registered symbol on stuff, which means that they're reserving something. So again, you know what I mean, honors to Brother Lanre for standing on the square, backing these people down, using their own stuff against them, and proving once again that this is bigger than some license and some whatever. More brought up Dred Scott case, shut the court down. Magistrate said, hold on a second. If he's going to bring up case law, then he has a charter issue. But then again, for Moors, don't get caught up in, oh yeah, they charter issue, so now we're going to go to the charter and we're going to pull out all the stuff in the charter, have to do it indigenous and then present that up. No, you're going to be a ward of the crown if you do that. Because the charter is a corporate document. Just look up charter. So the corporate document that they're going to use says in it that it only applies to members of parliament. Are you a member of parliament? No. So then charter rights don't apply to you. So then what applies if I'm not? That's when you go into, you better have a nationality and start using the international law. Declarations, any of them. More, we're saying more is out here. Why should you go use the UN declarations? Because we've been telling you that you're Aboriginal and Indigenous, you're the natives to this land. The so-called black people are the natives. We've been putting that out for a good while now. People who are here know the BS that Aboriginal Indigenous people have been going through since these European colonists came to this jurisdiction up in the north. One thing that's been happening past 2-3 years is them doing things, you know, for the Aboriginal Indigenous people, saying things that has even quote unquote Canadians like, what do you mean you guys taking down people's statues and stuff like that? What do you mean that you want to change the name of because that guy had slaves and that? What do you guys mean? All of a sudden you're doing this? No, again, they're doing this because Moors are waking up now. There's more and more stops. There's more and more court situations. There's more and more tax situations when people are saying, I'm not a ward of the crown and I'm not in you guys' jurisdiction. Know that we're going to be battling. There's not going to be some, you're just going to railroad me because I'm nigger. Like those days are over, as far as out here is concerned, right? This was September 22nd to 24th. Trudeau talks on injustices, United Nations. PM talks shame over treatment of Indigenous people. On a stage where many world leaders spotlight their successes, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told the UN General Assembly on Thursday about one of his nation's historic failures, long faced by its native people. Quote, for Indigenous peoples in Canada, the experience was mostly one of humiliation, neglect, and abuse under successive governments that didn't respect their rights. We are greatly ashamed, Trudeau said, and for far too many Indigenous people, that lack of respect for rights still persists today. Trudeau's speech, which detailed measures Canada has taken to right the wrongs, struck an unusual tone at the annual gathering of presidents and monarchs, many of whom use their UN speeches to boast about their countries, complain about others, or discuss global flashpoints. Earlier in the day, South Korea's president urged North Korea to abandon its nuclear weapons and seek dialogue to prevent conflict breaking out on the divided peninsula. Moon Jae-in voiced support for stronger sanctions in response to the North's recent weapons tests, but his tone contrasted with President Donald Trump's dark warning at the General Assembly on Tuesday that North Korea would be totally destroyed if attacked. Another U.S. ally, Japan, said Wednesday that pressure, not dialogue, was needed. It is rare for a leader of Canada prides itself on its image of tolerance and social harmony to talk about the plight of the country's native peoples in a global forum. Trudeau said he wanted to tell you our story because I know the challenges we have faced and continue to face are not unique in the world, and we remain hopeful that we can do better. Many Indigenous people are frustrated by the disparities between their lives and those of their fellow Canadians. Indigenous people make up 4.3% of Canada's population, but the proportion of Indigenous adults in jail or prison is about 9 times higher than other Canadians. Youth suicide rates are far higher, and life expectancy is 5 to 7 years lower than non-Indigenous Canadians. Trudeau pointed to recent progress. Investments have made water safe to drink in more than 24 Indigenous communities. 1,000 new homes are being built. Right? And then the front page was City Hall allegation. It was a token position to make themselves look good. Nothing on the Indigenous file. Kreshmer, Toronto's Indigenous consultant, resigns and files a human rights complaint against the city out here who are dealing with the quote-unquote city, railroaded by the city. Take a page out of Lindsay Kretschmer's book. File a complaint on the city, a human rights complaint. Remember, she's an Indigenous consultant, and she filed a complaint. So if you're the Indigenous, you better start complaining to these international communities. This is why we tell Moors, write them writs. Okay. Lindsay, Lindsay, Kretschmer. Resigning. So, the gig is up, but it was good. We'll see how far it goes. All right. Some questions. Get some of those up. Not that one. Forgot. Brother Osei, greetings, Kujo. I appreciate your work and your channel. I was wondering if you can speak on your experiences as a result of standing on your square, if applicable, in any upcoming video. Being that I've never been incarcerated, there's nothing really to speak on, but for or from people who have been that I've spoken to, majority of the time, the hoopla that goes on the street when they kidnap you is not what happens behind closed doors. So we've had Moors get kidnapped, get in the back, and they're getting asked about, you know, how they can help highwaymen not pay taxes. Highwaymen has a property that they're trying to protect. What could they do because, you know, somebody's trying to take their stuff or whatever. They become like, another good example is Brother Mario LB. We use him all the time. Publishedinfo.net. If you want to get an incarcerated story from a Moor, an active Moor, studious Moor, hit up Brother Mario LB, publishedinfo@gmail.com, and get his testimonial. You can also get at Brother Lanre Obey. His, you can do the 27th letters. If you go to just YouTube search Lanre Obey 1206 Studios. Lanre Obey 1206 Studio. And his YouTube page will come up where you can, you know, watch his videos of him talking about, you know, standing on his square, getting kidnapped, and you know, how he looks at it. You know what I mean? When those things happen. You know, another thing is like, when you hear Moors are kidnapped, Moors are incarcerated for standing on their square. Like, they didn't get kidnapped for something they think that they did wrong or whatever. They got kidnapped for standing on their square, because that position is supposed to be buried. There's not supposed to be anybody today that looks Negro black colored that's talking about they're not part of the plantation. There's not supposed to be somebody in 2017 that claims to be African, came over here on a slave ship, that's talking about standing on their square, and demanding, you know, other people produce certain things to prove that they even have authority over people's lives. That's not supposed to be happening. Even if we use right, that they kidnap and charge her with attempted murder or attempted assault or something like that on a highwayman because of the speed chase, and her being incarcerated has nothing to do with her stealing a house. Zero. Like, there's no evidence that they presented with regard to her charges that has to do with her stealing houses or squatting or whatever. Like, there's no charge like that. They kidnapped her because of a speed chase. Claim that she almost ran over a police car or something like that. Something crazy, right? And, you know, because if you go behind the wheel, even though they're claiming, even though they're making only a claim, you know, because of the power of what she was going to do or doing is why they hit her so hard. So don't look at, you know, wow, she got all those years because she's a Moor. No, she got all those years because they're trying to get you not be Moor. She got all those years because they want anybody who ever has the thought of, should I be a Moor? First thing that comes to their mind, oh, Tabitha Gentry. She said she's a Moor. Then that ain't what's going on. That's not what happened. Her right in her own land. She was exercising her right. Being the Aboriginal indigenous people. Again, once you start talking Aboriginal and indigenous, know that you're going to be battling with some people eventually. It might not happen today or tomorrow. Trust. Eventually, you're going to have to face these people, whether it's a highwayman, whether it's a magistrate, whether it's some IRS enforcer, whoever, whether it's CRA enforcer, whoever. Know for a fact that they're coming after you because you're a runaway slave. You're trying to say you're not part of their plantation, which you have a right to do because, you know, according to them, slavery is abolished. So if slavery is abolished, why do they want you on their corporate plantation for? If slavery is abolished. If 14th Amendment only applies to people who are convicted of a crime and whatever like that, and they become property, and that's the only time that slavery is whatever, then people who aren't, why are they slaves? No, because they played themselves. They want to recognize what freedom was. Because really, freedom starts in the mind. Once you have your mind right, the body will follow. Free your mind. And Vogue even told people, the rest will follow once you free your mind. But it's so hard for people to free their mind because so many people are not right. So many people are blocking people from their birthright, Moors and Europeans included. You know, the best thing is don't get incarcerated. Forget about, well, you know, of a Moor standing on a square just in case I get incarcerated. Don't get incarcerated. How about don't get incarcerated? Smallest thing, grandest thing. Ritual that you put out there on yourself. Take the time to study so that your frequency, Brother Abakai, who we put up his video, right? Moore told him, yo, I'm late for work. Like, what's the issue? Mr. Bay, how late are you? I'm already late. Have a nice day. And he gave them nationality card, right to travel. Oh, but right to travel is not real. But isn't that the same thing that certain Moors were asking for? Put your camera on with a highwayman and a Moor who has one of those nationality cards, not from the Moor Science Temple and RV Bay Publications. You put it online and let's see, put a camera in a highwayman's face. Well, camera was in the highwayman's face. He told him, have a nice day, Mr. Bay. What more do you want? You need more? You're not getting any more. No more to give. There's the example of why did it work? Because his quote unquote mode of transport is not registered. So they don't have jurisdiction over it. And once they don't have jurisdiction over it, you can show them anything you want. Where people get caught up is that they go register. They go register, and then they want to take the little plates off, put their plates on, and talk about you guys don't have jurisdiction. Oh, yes, they do. You registered it with them. Right? The lane of incarceration, don't even go there. Don't go there. Please don't go there. L. Hello, brothers and sisters. I don't know if you've seen this before. Brought my attention on Jeopardy. If you watch from 1330, all right, so let's just see what's good. Let's see what's good with this thing. 1330. Yeah, more is that position of study. So always something. Something. Prove to the point of where we are.
Jeopardy! That's me, today's $7,000 more than Farhad.
Let's wager 3,000.
Okay, here's the clue. This fish menaces the folks at Lost River Lake in a 1978 film. Farhad.
Who are William and Mary?
Yes.
1200, same category.
In 1916, during the Mexican Revolution, this bandit leader raided New Mexico and killed 17 Americans. Farhad.
Who is Pancho Villa?
Good.
1600.
Mao used these colorful militant student groups to launch China's Cultural Revolution. Angela.
Who's the Red Guard?
Yeah.
Revolution 2000.
Was among the promoters who ended this Southeast Asian country's absolute monarchy in 1932. And that country is Thailand. Angela.
1200.
This type of carnivorous fish menaces the folks at Lost River Lake in a 1978 film. Angela.
What is piranha?
Yeah.
Fish.
Mars. Here it comes.
1600.
Willem Dafoe voiced a Moorish idol fish named Gil in this 2003 animated movie. Angela.
What is Finding Nemo?
Right you are.
Again, for everybody who's seen Finding Nemo, watch Finding Nemo, oh yeah, this movie's so good or whatever like that, and they never realized that Gil was a Moorish idol fish. And he was the man in Nemo. He was the fish. No fish that was.
Fishy Cinema. Fishy Cinema 1600.
Willem Dafoe voiced a Moorish idol fish named Gil in this 2003 animated movie. Angela.
What is Finding Nemo?
Right you are.
Fish.
More fish. More fish was in Finding Nemo. More though. But Finding Nemo, just check the gross of the Finding Nemo movie. People went to see it and all that stuff. Just check the stats. Everybody who saw it got shown the Moorish idol fish. Right? Alex Trebek even knows about the Moorish idol fish. Recognize the Moors though. Right. Greetings. I do not have an appellation yet, but I go by my first name, which is Tony. I watch Canaanland YouTube videos daily, and I have over the past few months collected a healthy amount of materials from RV Bay Publications. Thank you for supporting. Not talking BS like all these other people out here. However, I don't feel I'm knowledgeable enough to maintain that status properly. Good. That you looked within, you found the candle, and you saw the flame was just a little, you know, when you just light it and it's really not sticking or whatever because wind or, you know what I mean, it didn't catch properly or whatever like that. You're not going to be running around with, you know, a kind of lit candle in the darkness talking about, you know, you want to see stuff. You know, it's not going to be like that. So that's excellent that you studied the past few months, collected a healthy amount of materials, but, you know, something's just not telling you to nationalize yet. Yeah. The little voice that we're supposed to listen to, that once you listen to it, everything's going to be all right. Once you listen to it, you stop listening to the little voice, don't worry. There's going to be stuff coming that you're not going to be prepared for because the little voice told you, you know, you're not ready yet for this trip. Humble yourself. Study a little bit more. Forget that. It's the devil talking to me. I'm ready. You go out there, get injured, and then you're blaming people for stuff because you didn't listen to the little voice. You blame yourself. Don't blame other people for your stuff that you put on yourself. I know that I must continue studying, but any specific advice, even though I didn't ask a specific question, y'all help a sister out, please. Also riding solo with this info and just need some guidance. Love from a country town in Florida, right? So again, oh, and then the individual's quote unquote is bookworm. So you already know where the mindset's at. That, you know, even though she's in a little small country town, a small country town in Florida, because she's a bookworm, she'll be all right. Especially if rvbaypublications.com is one of your places to go. You know what I mean? Canaanland Moors, YouTube is one of the places to go that you get information. You'll be all right. Keep studying. Next email, let us know what that small country town in Florida is, so that, you know, we can connect you with some Moors out that way. You know, again, just for that, you know, riding solo and you need some guidance. It's the best when where you're at, you know, you realize they've been there forever. You never knew they were there, you know. This one, we'll put this one out. We'll leave their number off. Islam family, this is El Bay. Just trying to get more information on becoming honorary members and start paying dues, as me and my family are looking forward to becoming honorary members and starting to pay dues. There unfortunately aren't any honorable temples in this location, St. Petersburg territory, let alone honorable Moors going to bat with this corporation warring on Moorish Americans. We've already done our paperwork through Great Seal. It's been rough for the past 2 years, from being everything from kidnapped by St. Petersburg Corporation hired guns, 4 or 5 members, to fighting for our estate from alleged claims by representatives at Wells Fargo, which are still ongoing, to which I myself make record of it with our own writs on YouTube, just in case the family would like to observe. It is funny how you run into those professing to be, when you mention Taj Tariq Bey, they say, oh, you with those Moors. That's what they say. which is tragically sad. It's actually a good thing. It's not that sad because it's letting you know where you don't want to be. As soon as you hear them start talking BS about Taj Tariq Bey, you already know they have mental problems, severe mental problems, and they probably don't have anything to offer you if they're going to be dissing the master teacher and telling you about, oh, you with those Moors, like they're not Moors. Or like, you know, like Taj Tariq Bey isn't who people claim him to be. Like he is master teacher for real for some Moors. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't be anywhere relative to this information if it wasn't for him. So, and that's like thousands of Moors out there. They might not say it. Even Moors in the temple, even in that same temple that you're saying they got issues or whatever, there's Moors in that same temple. They're watching Taj. They're not watching the Grand Sheikh of that temple because they know that he's folly. But because of allegiance, because of, you know, my boy is, he put me on, he let me come in the temple or whatever like that, people play the, you know, the Malcolm X syndrome where they don't, you know, Elijah Muhammad did all this BS or whatever, but honors to him still because, you know, he put me on. Well, he honors to him for what? For what? You know, like he put you on and you left. So what are you giving him honors for? Why don't you just hang around still? Clearly something's going on why you left. So why are you begging friend from clowns? I guess that's why when we go about enforcing the Constitution in this locations, Europeans quick to say, I have not seen this in 20 years, really exposing the fact that they have never seen this before, which is tragically sad in my book because I have bumped into quite a bit of so-called Moors when I got invited to family reunions, which we did not go. Yet nothing but dirty Moors, if you ask me. Just from the experience of constant warring we receive our rights, you would think we the only Moors in this location. Well, at least being warred upon, which I guess speaks for itself, especially all the lawsuits on file. But anyways, look forward to hearing from you. Peace and love. So yes, you know, as you come into this information, you're going to attempt to be part of Moorish Science Temple because you recognize what Noble Jew Ali brought. You realize that, you know, it's in your best interest to what it is that he founded, you know, because why not? But then you go and they're telling you about, oh, you're with those Moors, or nah, your tassel has to be, you know, open so you can be a member, and you know, all this made up stuff. So we took it on ourselves, you know, as Moorish Science Temple, Moorish Divine National Movement, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Great Seal, to open our doors to anybody, anywhere that has come into these issues. If there's a temple where you're at that they're legit and we can vouch for them, yeah, go join that one. You don't have to be a member of ours. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be a member of our temple. If there's a temple where you're at that, you know, you mentioned Taj and they're like, oh yeah, Taj, oh yeah, we study from him, whatever. Yeah, get down with them Moors. You know what I mean? We're really open for people who have, you know, gone through the ringer dealing with some of these temples, and unfortunately, you know, really went nowhere. They did their best. They did their best to convince people that the temple is some religious whatever, or Moors don't know law, you know, However, people's perspective of Morris Science Temple is based on them looking at cells exercising. You know what I mean? So if you are interested in becoming an honorary member of the Canaanland Morris Temple, you would email the secretary, who, by the way, he's inundated. So, you know, if you get a little late response, you know, it's because of inundation of the mind. It's not because of, you know, you don't want to get back to you, or you're too busy to get back to you, or whatever like that. He's inundated. When he opens his email every day, it's just black, bold stuff. That, you know, yesterday it was black, bold stuff. And the day before that was black, bold stuff. So excuse the delay. You know what I mean? But don't give up. You know what I mean? Don't assume somebody's not getting back to you because, you know, you heard somebody on Facebook say, well, they never get back to nobody. And then it's been taking you 2 months or whatever like that. You know, like we tell those people, if you really got a problem and you really want to know what's up, why don't you just call into the live show? It's live every Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Call at 9:15 so you can get through, so you don't have an excuse to say, well, I called and I never got in. Call early so you can get in, so you can present your question, your testimonial, your hatred, whatever it is that you got. And we don't know who's calling in. All we know is a number. Push 1, we call your number, say what you got to say. Forewarned, watch your mouth, because the mothers don't play. So don't think you're going to come on there and, you know, diss them and try to make it look like, you know, they're not credible and all that stuff on their stuff. Trust they'll hold your number, because remember, you're calling with a number. So they got your number. We'll get some stern talking. Trust that that will happen. If you think you're going to come on there and talk crazy. So think about it first. Before you know, take your disgruntled ass over to MHHS and start complaining about something. Just be mindful. You know what I mean? That the mothers will deal with your case. You know, the sons will remain silent. We don't have to say anything. Just put our phone on mute and go pop our corn. All right? But don't be complaining on Facebook. Don't be complaining on your website or whatever that RV Bay never got back to you and RV Bay didn't do this and they didn't do that, when you didn't even once take a call into the show to find out why. Maybe there's a reason why. You really think that they've been running an operation for all these years? What is it? Some type of hundreds of thousand listeners on the blog talk, and they're not doing stuff. They got all those people following, but it's because they avoid people. They're not like those consultation whores who, after they get your finance, they delete you. Those consultation whores that, you know, try to convince you that they're a business. So their time is money, and to talk to them, you need to pay them a fee or whatever. You fall for it, you're on your own. All right, so honorary members, you can email Amari at hotmail.com. AMAURY.com. This was a rant, so we'll just put this out there for the ranter, so we can help them get it off their chest or whatever they're dealing with. To all temple heads associated or knowledgeable to my specific circumstances, I am tired and very angry about the so-called leadership that perpetuates the ills on the women of this nation due to their own ignorance, ego, and lack of compassion or balance. I feel completely sick and struck with grief. The word forsaken, by comparison to the feelings of betrayal that I am experiencing. It infuriates me that my daughter has been kidnapped and trafficked and is out there and no one is concerned or gives a damn. Well, it's your daughter. I don't know why anybody else would care. Especially if, you know, you already know that it's their own ignorance, ego, and lack of compassion or balance. Why, you know, you've been over forsaken, but then knowing that they have no compassion or balance, or and they're full of ego and ignorance, knowing that you're still infuriated, giving a damn about your daughter being kidnapped. Well, I mean, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it too, you know, pick something. Assistance, and everyone who has responded has acted with prejudice toward me, assumptive and presumptive within their own personal interests, and most using their position in leadership to floss or boss. So at this point, and if no more in leadership is willing to assist me properly in and return of my child to home, then as a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I formally make this statement and hereby place a complaint to charge certain temple heads and sheiks with neglect who were given the abundance of information about my case, family, and situation, as an agreement was made to assist me in the matter. And assist those who don't help themselves. So somebody can say they're going to help you to high heaven, but if you're not helping yourself, don't expect help. If you have a situation, whatever it is that you're dealing with, and this situation that you have is that demanding that you need assistance with it, you should have thought about that before you even got into the situation that you got in. Because we have to constantly remember that, especially when you say that you're not Negro, black, colored, you're more, especially when you say that, know that the expectations of you are the celestial atmosphere, not just some earth plane expectations anymore. You say that you're more, then you better know what the hell you're talking about. This is not a game. This is very serious. Because by us saying that we're Moors, whoever it is that we're dealing with, trust that they don't want us to be in that position as Moors, because that means it's over for them. At all times, that's what that means. So when people have their little situations, big situations or whatever, and they're talking about just in this matter and all that, yeah, as far as Moors are concerned, you know, every Moor that has an issue should have Moors that they can reach out to get, you know what I mean, support, whatever. There should be those individuals available for that individual to reach out to. If that individual reached out to somebody and they didn't deal with them according to how they thought that they should be dealt with, then, you know, that's your expectations. Why are you expecting so much from people who really and truly, they don't know you? They don't owe you jack. Just doing this because, you know what I mean, fezzes up, turbans up, Moroccan flag, Noble Drew Ali and all that. But really and truly, if you don't know them, this is just some, You know what I mean? You know, we had some conversations, and now, you know, we know that we're more together. So this is relationship. Like, it's not, that's not real. Because the only way that you're going to get the assistance that you need is from yourself. There's too much going external for morals. There's too much find it outside yourself. No, find it within. That's why we read the chapter 12. So you can look within for your answers. Stop every time you need answers and you look outside yourself, you get further away from the answers. And then you look outside yourself again, you get further away more from the answers. And you look outside yourself and you get further away, and you continue to get further and further away from the answers. And then you expect people to give you the answers when the answer is within. Your common sense, just like Brother Lanre, common sense told him, I'm going to bring the license that's expired as evidence. Nobody told him this. He himself bring this newspaper article that says Lanre obeying it as my evidence. I'm going to bring the transcripts from my case that prove I'm Lanre obey, because it's written right here on the top of the transcript. Your own records? You're going to say your own records are lying? Like I'm lying because I had a nationality card? Probably not. Right? Everything that he did, he went inside. And from inside, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know this is really what was, you know what I mean? But from the inside, little birdie told me, it's good that I went, because, you know, Brother Lanre is such a disciple of principles that because Grand Sheik's there, he's going to be on his P's and Q's. He's not really going to, you know, come off the line. Because GS is there, he's going to stick to the script that he knows that he has to stick to. Where in other times, you know, not that the script wasn't stuck to, but there was other things that were presented, expressed, that might seem a little bit, you know, overboard, you know, getting in your feelings or whatever like that, because you have to go there. Just because this is a court of law, you don't need to go there. You don't need to talk about those stuff. Bring certain stuff up with the wrong judge, that's going to get you logical assessment or whatever on the spot, or get you kidnapped or whatever, get you kicked out of the court, then they issue bench warrant, and now they're coming for you and all that stuff. So, and again, you know, on any other day, if there's Job, like, he's on his own, and he's not taking it personal. If nobody comes to court, ain't no big deal. He got himself in it. He knows that he's going to get himself out of it. Ain't nobody could do that for him. He doesn't even come to get witnesses on his writs or whatever, if he's sending writs. If he's sending writs, which I don't think I've ever witnessed any writs for Brother Lanre for court date coming up. Never, ever. But his stuff gets dismissed, though. He's still out here, traveling. We just went to shoot the video today. He had the same ride that they pulled him over in and all that. Still doesn't have a license. Yeah. You know, what's he going to do? He's not going to go reinstate that fraudulent stuff, but he knows for a fact that it's on him. And he's cool with it being on him. Whether they kidnap him, whether they let him free, whether they call him back 50 times, it's all good. He knows about his nationality and birthrights, and it has nothing to do with anybody else but him. Everybody can get middle finger or whatever. He's going to do whatever it is that you got to do, because it's his birthright to do what he's got to do. After the fact, the ringer, after he goes through the furnace, when he comes out the furnace, you know, he might have some burns or whatever like that, a little smoke or something like that. You know, but they're not doing anything to him. Why? Because his energy. What's his energy? His energy is no fear of these people. I don't care what they decide to do. Zero. Fear doesn't exist. Matter of fact, he's so fearless, that scares them. So going back to this, as soon as, well, nobody helped me and I got this situation and all these Moors are out here and nobody, as soon as you start getting into that, one, clearly you're not studying as much as you should, because the fact that you're talking of no getting help from nobody and all that stuff, when you are supposed to help yourself. So to say nobody helped you means you didn't even help yourself. And if you didn't even help yourself, then what you want? Why would somebody else assist if you're not helping your own self with your own stuff that you got to deal with? Right? There's things that other people have control over that you don't have control over. So you're going to have to humble and just, wait or whatever. There's things that you have complete control over. You don't humble on those ones. That's when you take it on yourself to make sure you do what it is that you're supposed to do. And once you do what you're supposed to do, then Allah look out. Noble Drew Ali might even look out. As soon as you deny them, you deny yourself. Don't expect too much. Due to their unethical intentions and lack of personal integrity, I have been led from here to there with insincere support and misinformation. Since the moment I have been introduced to Moorish Science Temple of America and the divine and national movement of the world, I have encountered a series of shysters and charlatans masquerading as Moorish science adepts for over 4 years. I have been dismissed and disrespected by Moors claiming to hold seats of office, authority, and integrity. Instead of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, sincere among such ones, I have observed hatred, lies, war, enslavement, injustice among various so-called leaders all across this country. Full knowledge of the situation and duty-bound to provide assistance, responsible for what harm that has happened or is happening to me and my daughter. May Allah have mercy on all who have acted with neglect, caused harm and abuse, releasing the flock instead of feeding them. And again, ain't nobody feed the flock. You put the feed down, when the flock wants to eat, they eat. If they don't want to eat, they starve. That's on them. It has nothing to do with the shepherd once the grain's down. So, shysters and charlatans masquerading as Moorish science adepts better be doing these hatred, lies, war, enslavement, injustice. It better not be some stupid stuff that you're mad because of some stupid stuff. These people legitimately told you $5,000, took your finance and gave you nothing. It better be these people told you 5 months prior to your daughter's whatever that they're going to send you some papers and they never sent it. That's why she got kidnapped. They better not be, you had no assistance. So, who cares? You're just going to go in there and say whatever and see what happens and not expect to get kidnapped. Right? We have a lot of situations where Moors have family Moors and they want assistance for them. Ain't no Moors helping no Negroes to get out of nothing. It doesn't work like that. If that's your family and they're Negro, you better go deal with their stuff. Because there ain't nobody that should have to help, should have to assist. Again, use Brother Mario as an example. He got kidnapped, went in the hole and all that stuff. I think he's sitting there talking about certain people didn't help him and all that. I don't care about none of that. This is all birthrights. You are on your own. You are. I mean, it's nothing to be upset about, mad about. It comes down to one: are you studying? Because yeah, everybody could study. Studying. Are you studying what you should be studying? We're not talking about you have a situation, so you study for that. Because that's not studying. That's band-aid. Studying is changing your complete mindset. Totally revamping how you look at everything. Again, we use the example that, you want to know, you talking about people didn't assist you, that's dirty? What's dirty is people assisting people and not even telling them about their birthrights. That's dirty. What's dirty is people coming into this information with the mindset that they're Cherokee, with the mindset that they're Aboriginal and Indigenous, with the mindset that they're Mohawk, with the mindset that they're, bound to this continent by heritage. And somebody sold them a package instead of showing them how to solidify their Indigenous Aboriginal position before they implement the package. Seller people who are Moors, you have to stay Negro black color for them to play you. So if somebody says I'm El Bay and they're selling you some type of paper, they're selling you some class, they're selling you whatever it is that they're selling, and all they can talk to you about is the subject matter of what they're selling, but they're not telling you about your nationality, they're not telling you about your birthrights, they're not telling you about Noble Juali, they're not telling you about Holy Quran of Moorish Science Temple, they're not telling you about 101 questionnaire, they're not telling you about Moorish literature. All they can tell you about is this process that is, going to fix every problem that you ever have. All you have to do is just put your name right here and then put this stamp on this and then send this out, and then your world is going to be, secured party. You don't have to worry about anything because, you're playing. All they want is your finance. They're gonna get it because, the people who, again, fall for this BS are people who don't study. People who study, they don't pull this BS on them. People who are in the right frame of mind, of Moors with the right state of mind being engaged by package sellers and whoever else. Never. It's always people who are novice. It's always people who are new. Because they know they can't pull the BS on people who have knowledge, which is why we tell people go get knowledge, especially MBApublications.com, because they're going to give you a very solid foundation to build on, very solid foundation to build on, which would eliminate all the problems that you got, because majority of the problems is because we fall through the floors as Moors. You think you got it. You think because somebody gave you something that you got it. And then if we take that thing from those people and we ask them, this thing with a fine-tooth comb, guarantee they don't even know what it is that they got. Guarantee they were looking at this as just have this paper and now I'm free because I have this paper or card. Now with a nigger mind, you're not free. Nationality card is useless to a Negro mindset. Judicial proclamation, name correction is useless to somebody who doesn't have the mind of a Moor. Right? Yes, Noble Dwali said, if you don't do anything else, declare your nationality, but you still got to study after you do that. Nationality, and then that's it. Anytime you get questioned, well, I'm a Moor and you guys can't do nothing or whatever, and then they ask you, well, you know, just like they did to the brother, you know, rapped his door. They got warrant. We're here for so-and-so. Well, so-and-so doesn't live here. Who are you guys anyways? Well, we got a warrant for his arrest or whatever. No, sorry, this is not the place. This is a Moorish American house, domicile, apartment, whatever. Can you open the door? So, no, sorry, opening anything. I can see you guys through the peephole. Again? Yeah. Do you know who is that? No, I don't know who that is. That's not a living entity. So I don't know. I don't know. He could be in China right now because he was sold there. I don't know who he is, where he is. I don't know nothing. What's a Mexum? Mexum. Mexum is the first indigenous name of Africa. Why you want to know what a Mexum is? What's that have to do with your warrant? You have a nice day. Now, if he didn't know, trust they would have kicked the door in. Right? No different, again, quote unquote court. Sister goes in there. Case been going on. You know what I mean? Prosecutor has no case. Herself, best of her ability, based on her knowledge herself. Judge says, hey, pretty much I'm tired of this BS or whatever. So your answer mean whether you get kidnapped right now do you live in the county of whatever? Did you say county? I didn't hear you properly, Your Honor. Yes, do you live in the county of whatever? No, sorry, I don't live in the county. Well, case dismissed, go home. Now, you know, magistrate told her, if you don't know the answer, I'm kidnapping you. Why did she know the answer? Because she studies. She goes to rvbaypublications.com, studies on her own. You know what I mean? Being that she's a sister, she makes sure that she listens to Sister Standing on Law every time that that's on, and always listens to the archives. Matter of fact, she takes all the archives, downloads them to her phone so she can listen to those all the time before she even listens to Tuesday MHHS class. She's not even listening to that. She's a sister. So her mindset is, well, you know, if I'm a sister and then there's general class for everybody and then there's Sisters Standing on Law, which, you know, brothers might be on there, but well, Sisters Standing on Law, I'm going to go there because I'm a sister. And I'm going to listen to all those archives 50, 60 times or whatever like that to get myself right because, you know, it's called Sisters Standing on Law because it's for the sisters. Personal class for them. Radio.com, MHHS-Eyes Wide Open, and go to the Sisters Standing on Law archives if you're a sister. You know, brothers could listen to, but, you know, you might not really get the message. You know, we got a little stuff, but, you know, sisters go to a whole different place with more science than the brothers go. Alone, they have their own time to do it how they want and all that. It's a totally different thing, right? Which is why Dwali had women's auxiliary and stuff like that, so the sisters could go in their own little corner and do what it is that they're supposed to do for the nation that nobody else can do, only them. Coming in with, lace shorts, talking about we recognize our feminine side, so we want to come to the sisters meeting. That ain't, You're not allowed. Does not apply. Right? It's a specific jurisdiction for sisters. Ovaries only. Right? Well, my ovaries are, fell into testicles. No, not those ovaries. Sorry. You're not allowed to go. Sisters only. Standing on law, Blog Talk Radio. Go get it from the sisters. Let's put our brother Yeshua L. Dealing with a property issue, writs, and about a month ago had a magistrate expose his conflicting interests, blocking filings for the record in order to try to sell something at a sheriff's auction. Displace me. I have sent in removal writs to the Supreme Court, no response from them. Along with the above, I have put the reconveyance letter on the record. All of this has been going on for the last 5 years. My mom is 75. Wrap her mind around these matters properly. I'm pressure, and I need to speak to someone honest and true about what I can do, because the foreigners around my territory are extreme violators. Any assistance would be appreciated. Also found out that either the court clerk or the magistrate, C. Curvin, issued some type of letter to say the name on the birth certificate is deceased. I was told that. And that was done in order to act on the foreclosure fraudulently ordered by the court. So potentially, so again, we're looking at issues that are happening because of Negro statuses and Moors trying to assist in helping the Negro, which, when you look at the subjugation history in the Americas, majority of the people who tried to help the slaves were put to death if they were found out, included. So, unless these things are directly related to you, so, they're trying to jack a house that, or a property or whatever, that is supposed to be handed down to you personally, and they're doing whatever they're doing. Okay, yeah, step in and you do something. But, it's just like we say with child support. You know what I mean? If the father can't call the mother and say, hey, could we work this out or whatever like that, don't waste your time, bro, because the so-called state's going to use her against you forever. She has no knowledge of herself. So don't even get caught up, try to, do something for, the Negro bedwench that doesn't want to not be a bedwench anymore. She doesn't want to escalate to her status. She wants to be bedwench for the corporate state. Let them be bedwench. Yes, the mother of your children and all that stuff. Guarantee if you did a natal chart of her, you wouldn't have slept with her. Because you would have seen all this stuff coming that you're dealing with from crazy baby mama, which is lesson for the ones that are coming up now. Before you go, you better go check her baby pictures. Make sure that she is who she claims to be. But again, going back to this situation, the quote unquote pressure is to let you know how in a devastated position they are. The pressure is supposed to let us know that, you know, like for example, with Brother Lanre, when the highwayman said, yo, just get a license. Like, we'll throw everything out tomorrow if you just get a license. Should let you know that, oh, you're going to throw it out if I get a license? Oh, I'm definitely not getting one. Well, definitely. Oh, you're going to claim that the birth certificate is a person who's they're dead and all that stuff? Then they must want the more to stand up if they're claiming that the birth certificate guy is dead. But again, remember, just like again with Brother Lanre and any case that he had prior to Friday, it was a European. And they were not in his favor at all. He, like anything that he got dismissed, or let me say anything that was dismissed, wasn't on him. Anything that was dismissed is because he backed these people up into the wall so much that they became the wall. And stuff got dismissed because they're the wall. Going through situations with people who do not have the right mind, situations don't go anywhere, because for somebody to be in a situation of foreclosure or about to lose a property, right? Somebody from the outside can come in to speak on behalf of, but they have to get permission from the dead person. And if the dead person thinks, well, you're not a lawyer. My house, you're not whatever. How are you gonna whatever? And then a way that you're gonna assist them. You can attempt by presenting them with the right info, but you know, to put yourself in it like it's your situation, and then now you're stressed out about it because they don't want to realize what's going on. So now you gotta whatever's going on, right? If you are involved with it, then you take her by the hand or whatever with a pen in it, and then you let her sign the paper. You're a power of attorney, and you'll be handling everything. Let her just chill. Because the fact that that straw European name is attached to the situation is how these people have jurisdiction to keep playing games. Again, going back to the mother who says, the corporate state is my son's dad. Forget you, nigger. You're not winning with her. There's brothers who I know, they can't get custody, and the mom's alcoholic and crackhead and all that. And they can't get custody. They got full-time job, salary, and they can't get custody. The whole point is, to make sure the child is taken care of, whatever like that. How come they can't get custody? Because that broad's name, which is a European name, gives them jurisdiction. And yeah, they really are the dad now. Which again, it goes back to that thing. You better do natal charts with these people. You better check baby pictures. Make sure people are who they say that they are. Because you go messing around, bring something on the planet with one of these, demons out here, right? It's not going to be a fun life. children are innocent, but the demons, they're guilty as charged. Always, forever guilty as charged. Right? So, regard to them situations relative to this, you sending all the paperwork to them and all that stuff, yeah, it's all good. But if the individual whose name's on it is not on it, then you're just somebody playing mediator, and they really don't got to listen. They really don't got to hear anything, which is why they're denying everything. But you let mom put her name on some of these writs with L or B on it and start sending in writs of removal and all that, reconveyance letter, etc. Let her name be on it. She's defending it and see how it goes. But, again, you have to get the people to that place, right? And this shows, again, the disservice that Morris did, that she's 75, doesn't even know about her birthright. 75, that means that she was around during, when this was popping, she was around. Even if she was a child. No way that she never seen fezzes and stuff like that. No way she hasn't heard about something, or, it's like something had to get through. If nothing did, then, hey, what I mean? This is what we're dealing with our people. It's unfortunate, but this is where it's at with our people. And again, too, when you're looking at, county clerk doing stuff, magistrate doing things, sheriff not doing certain things or whatever, how they're constricting against the de jure, right? The de jure is pretty much out of life, about to be eaten. And the only thing that is going to help a little bit is morals who have this information, who are willing, like Nobujuali said, at the risk of their only life, to defend the prophet and the movement, the prophet and the temple, the prophet and the nation, the prophet and your flag, the prophet and your fez, your turban, the prophet and your holy book. And defend what he brought. Because if for your nation, then I even claim your nationality. What's the sense? If you're not willing to go headstrong for your birthrights, like you went for, or the favorite cricket player or whatever, you go hard for them, then you'll be all right. If you go hard for your birthrights, as hard as you went to get those Jordan 5s when they first came out. Oh, remember how hard you went to get your first pair of Hirachis? Remember when Barclays came out? How hard you went to get your Barclays? When you wanted that new ride? You know how hard you went to get that new car? Got that, the leather smell and stuff like that? That's how hard you should go for your birthright. Remember how hard you went to make the football team? And you were so good that you got scholarship and all that stuff, and then you went wherever and played football and all that stuff, and it was the greatest thing. Same energy you got to put to your birthright. Right? Remember when you had your first child and you said you'll do anything for them or whatever? To your heir. That has a birthright. So, if you're going to defend the child to the death, you're really defending your birthright to the death. So if you're going to die for the birthright, if you're willing to put it all up for the birthright, Allah's going to look out. Nobujuali's going to look out. Shango, Olokun, Yemeya, you name them. Obatala, you name them. Everybody is going to look out. Ma'at, Heru, you name them. Everybody's going to look out. Once you realize how serious this is with regard to your birthright, they're going to look out. Like man said, this is divine and national. And look up divine. It's going to talk about not earth plane stuff. So if this is divine and national, the assistance that we need is there. But again, if we are, don't know what this is, assume that we know what this is when we really don't know what this is and all that, then ourselves, right? Greetings, Cujo. I religiously watch your YouTube channel. Thank you so much for all of the information you provide. I listen to the classes as well as MHHS regularly, and I travel to and from work. Anyway, I wanted to know if you or anyone in the DC metro area who can be witnesses on my proclamation papers. I saw a video that you posted of Keith Albay in Reston talking about nationality. He's not too far from me, near Maryland. Do you happen to have email address for him? No doubt, we'll definitely set you up with that. And anybody else, personal email near Reston or quote unquote DC, please send email so we can connect the brother to you so he can get his witnesses. Also on a side note, I don't know if this would help, but I was showing Romeo and Juliet. I noticed some Europeans wearing what looked like fezzes. They didn't have tassels though. Now, so video is it's on YouTube. 00 Romeo and Juliet. That's the name of the video. 0 and Juliet. And the thumbnail is whoever that is with a blue fez on. Tassel. So we'll definitely as soon as we get those contacts for Moors near where you're at, get you that. Brother Ray L. Islam, all praise due to Allah, honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, honors to the forerunner Marcus Messiah Garvey, and honors to all prophets as well as the ancestors and especially Canaanland Moors for being a beacon of light on how a Moor science temple is supposed to function. Clear up the confusion on how Umar Johnson was misrepresenting Moors. As you say, calling yourself Moor or black doesn't mean anything to the so-called white man. Those who truly understand knows there is a true significant difference. Islam, love, and light. The Negro mindset is that there's no lack of a better word, hope. Right? Conscious people detached from resolving things for self. All the actions of our people who have colonized minds is that they have to do something impactful for the European to respond in their favor. You know what I mean? And, you know, they go over and beyond to try and that doesn't really exist. So to make statements like, you know, the white man just sees black people, You know, didn't see Moors and he doesn't see the difference or whatever. That's BS. And again, with somebody, if you're going to go as far as say Umar, but not change Johnson, you know, like you're African European, like what are you? Definitely, Europeans not taking him serious, right? The appearance is that because he's been in movies and he wrote books and he went to their school and he's trying to help the black people find their way or whatever. Ain't no such thing as black people. He's not helping them find any way. He's keeping them in darkness by calling them black. How are you going to find your way in darkness? We know for a fact as Moors that the quote-unquote white man knows that there's a difference. If there wasn't a difference, South Carolina congressional records wouldn't specify that there's a difference between Egyptians and Moors and Negroes. Dred Scott case. The white man, black man has no rights that the white man's bound to respect. Yeah, because black man, why would he have rights? Why would rights apply to a black guy if there's no such thing as a black guy? You know, like we're saying, if claim that you're human, why are you fighting for civil rights? If you claim that you're a body, right? 2 arms, 2 legs, you know, you might have no legs, 2 arms, or no arms, whatever like that. You know, you're a living entity. If you're living, breathe, blink, eat food, then that would mean that you're close to the human family. So if you're part of the human family, it would be in your best interest to fight for human rights, not civil rights, because civil rights have been unconstitutional since the 1800s, which is why international community presented this idea of human rights, you know, in the early 1900s under League of Nations. You know, the civil BS is not going to work with the Negro because it's unconstitutional. But the Negro has to be the one to recognize that we've been on the wrong stuff. Do they recognize? No. They look at Moors and they say BS like, you know, some of my family is Moors. Those are Moors. Those are Moors, but I'm not Moor. I'm African. Well, if you got family that's Moors, then you're probably Moor. There's like, I got family that's Chinese, friends that's Chinese, none of the Chinese, but I'm Australian. But you look Chinese though. Yeah, but you know, I don't really deal with that because, you know, the white man is not looking at us as Chinese. You know, he's looking at us as Australians and Chinese and chinky eye people and yellow people, and it doesn't matter. Well, I think it matters. It only doesn't matter to the quote unquote black community. Everybody else knows nationality is the order of the day. Everybody else knows. But again, these Moors who are Umar Johnson's friend, with him and build with him and all that stuff. And then next week comes and they sit with him and build with him. The next month comes, and they sit with him, build with him. And then 5 years pass by and these Moors and Umar Johnson been friends and he hasn't proclaimed his nationality yet. Clearly they're not doing what they're supposed to do as Moors in putting him on game, right? And he's not doing what he's supposed to do by realizing that, oh, well, you know, like, if you guys are Moors and you guys look just like me, then clearly I have to be a Moor too. There's no way. There's no way that I'm yellow, I'm Asian, but you're Chinese. There's no way. The only way that that works is in incompetence. And more than likely, that incompetent individual is going to be exiled by the Chinese or put in a madhouse or something like that. Or he might get some floggings or whatever to get his mind back right, to recognize that, stupid, you're not yellow. You're not Asian. Asia's a continent. What do you mean you're Asian? People don't come from continents. They come from countries. They won't get, only in our community, stuff like that gets passes. Incompetence. That you calling yourself Moor or black thing to the so-called white man. So he knows that the white man's so-called, but he doesn't know that black is so-called. They'll say so-called white man. Matter of fact, they might not even say white man. They'll say white supremacist. Or white supremacy. Which means they're not talking about, they're talking about a concept if they say white supremacy. But with themselves, they say black. And then, you know, if they're saying black supremacy, you know, they're talking about pale supremacy, which is why European rules in their house. So they don't want to admit that they went to the European school, European messed their minds up, has them thinking all crazy because they went to the European school without a nationality. Now their minds warped and they're coming out here trying to convince us of some uncivilized position that they got that we should accept because, you know, they got a degree or something like that. They got money to build a school, so let's send all our Moors to the black guy's school because, you know, it's state of the art. I'm still sending them to rvbaypublications.com before that guy's school. I don't care what he's got in there, right? Because remember, they're going to play their little game. You know, they'll have the Moor head on the school, but they're teaching people in there that they're black. They'll have the Moroccan flag flying in there, but they're talking about, you know, the white man doesn't respect that and all that stuff. So, you know, be open to especially Moors. They're not really the conscious people so much because they, you know, us. But Moors, when, you know, we come into these so-called incompetent scholars, you know, check them. You know what I mean? Islam to Brother Jermaine, because he's been beating them up lately. You know what I'm saying? He's Moor. He knows what's up. He's had certain experiences out there dealing with this corporate state, and who's going to tell him anything? Going to tell him anything if he's dealt with the corporate state? I mean, it's no different than you know, if you have had an experience with regard to exercising your right, and the experience was successful, meaning that you know, whoever it is that you were dealing with, they gave you a favorable reply when you made your claim or, you know, stood on your square. You know, like Brother Canaan said, you know what? I had this situation or whatever like that, you know, make a video about it and put it on the record, just so that it's on the record. And nobody can say, well, where's the proof that the Moor, no, it's on the record. Just go check the record and see the proof. Because it's past that we have to prove something, you know what I mean? We just put it out there. Whoever wants it, they'll see it and be inspired. Whoever doesn't want it, they'll ignore it. The ones that ignore it are going to be the ones that come back later, you know what I mean? Hey, you know that thing that you say, you know, I ignored it the first time, but now I get what it is that you're talking about. You know, you draw them in, or you know, those that ignore it end up being the ones who are trying to prove that you don't know what you're talking about, even though you have the proof and the facts and documentation to prove that everything went how you said it was going to go. They're still going to do whatever they do to try to make it seem like you don't, this doesn't work, right? When if your mind's in the right place, this works. If your mind's not in the right place, this doesn't work. And this is really about our people, especially Moors, taking the position of recognizing that this is yours. It can't be sold, can't be bought, can't be traded. There's no type of interaction that can happen between you and somebody for you to have this. You're going to be the one that goes out on your own and takes your own personal attention to knowing about your nationality and birthrights. Most we can do is lead you to the water. You're going to have to drink on your own. For us, MorrisDirectory.com, water. PublishedInfo.net, as well as Moreno Bay YouTube page, water. Of course, RV Bay Publications, Mantis Views 29, MHHS, all the blog, talk show archives, Sister Stands of Allah, Sons of Allah, right, water. Any Canaanland Moors Skype classes except Nanya Shabu El and Polite. Every other Skype class or lecture or whatever that we did, you know what I mean? There, water. Any YouTube pages that when it pulls up, Moors are telling you Islam and they're talking about active Moors and nationality cards and Great Seal and Moors talking like that, water. All we could do is lead you to the water. That's all we could do. That's all we're obligated to do. That's all. The obligation that the quote-unquote Moorish adepts have is to lead you to where the information is that is going to save you. Some Moors take it on themselves, forget lead you to it, they're just going to present it to you. They're just gonna put it out there, right? Or don't forget Alim El Bey, water. Right? Asir the Duke of Tears, water. Lead you to the water. You're gonna have to drink on your own. We can't make you drink. We can't make you want to know about your nationality and birthrights. You have to want to know about your nationality and birthrights. When you recognize that you want to know, then, you know what I mean? The vortex is going to open up above you or under you or next to you or whatever like that. And information just going to be, you're never going to know what to do. So much info is going to be coming in. You're going to have so much info that you're not even going to be able to go through everything. You're going to need to create a think tank or quote unquote a study group so that you and these other Moors who are, you know, come together, put all the info together in a pile or whatever like that and figure out whatever you got to figure out, right? So we're going to definitely send a big shout out to all the Moors. Big shout out to all the Moors who have been studying and, you know what I mean, making sure that they're getting their mind right. Because you know that once you get the mind right, everything else is going to fall into place. If you don't have the mind right, that's why there's imbalances in your life. Because there's aspects, there's neural pathways that are going nowhere in your mind, that you have to recreate these neural pathways and lead them somewhere so that you can have revelations, have eureka moments, so you can, 433, right? Pick up on these things, recognize that, oh, this, certain things are going on. The 1st of October is 11, 101. Things, recognizing that the universe is showing you things. Recognizing that the universe is showing you things. These things that the universe shows you, you give thanks. Give thanks to the universe, give thanks to ancestors, Withdrawally, etc. And be open to more stuff coming. Don't shut yourself off. You think you got it all. I got it all. I got everything off RBB. I don't need nothing else because I got it. Well, you just shut yourself off from anything else that could come in, that might want to come in. Because yeah, we know RVBA publications isn't the all and be all, but it's a good start. That's a deep enough cavern. You can go down there and get lost for a few years. It's all right. On the other side somewhere with a new mind. And you know what I mean? Man knows not by being told, but trust me. When you have a Moorish mindset, just go again, check Brother Lanre Obey's YouTube page. He has 7 series. If you haven't seen him, he has 7 series of testimonials called My Name is My Name, dealing with one of the times that he got kidnapped or whatever. And, the things that he had to go through to get transcripts, to get video of the assault and all this stuff, like testimonial. So Islam Moors, peace and love. Oh yeah, and don't forget, there ain't no such thing as Moors consulting people. So if somebody with Bay L is saying, give me finance to have a phone conversation, don't even play with them, because they can just tell you, oh, go here and go study, and leave you alone and let you go study. And every time you come a question, they still send you back to the place. They don't got to take no fiat from you. Make up an hour worth of conversations to get your fiat. They can just send you where you can go get the info where they got it. Trust me, the people charging never paid for what they got. Guaranteed they never paid. They're charging you for it. And then charge you double, triple, quadruple or whatever, and they didn't even pay for it. Playing. Don't be played. And don't forget, we got the Moorish Guide newspaper. We have the PDF. All right, so we're going to take a note out of Brother Abdullah's book. If you want to do your own paper, send a 50-note donation. We'll send you the PDF. All the work's done already. All you got to do is print it. It might cost you a couple $100 for a few thousand copies wherever you're at. You don't got to edit anything. You don't got to do whatever like that. Send you the PDF, make your own paper. That way we don't have to expense ourselves shipping you bundles or whatever of papers. You can just print your own paper. And if everybody did that where they were at, and don't forget, it's not just us. Also, Brother Abdullah has newspapers that he has PDF. Hit him a donation. Get the PDF. Print your own paper. You know what I mean? If you bought it, it's yours. Just like sisters with their hair. Isn't that? It's my hair. I bought it. All right. Well, buy the PDF. Have your own paper. All right. Islam to all the Moors. Again, we had the video shoot today. Or the final of the video shoot. And that one should be coming momentarily. Be on the lookout. Oh, and as well, the word's out that the Moors all the Moors who are looking forward to the June ball. I'm mistaken, November 11th. Let's see if I find this flyer quick fast. Great Seal, the Great Seal Moors are going to be doing the ball, but it's just going to be a get down for the Moors. So, but by Tuesday, I'm gonna have the flyer, so Moors could start getting themselves together. Make your arrangements, you know, for the ball. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's November 11th. But again, as we get the details out. So you got a month and a week or something like that. A month and 2 weeks or something to make your plans, make your arrangements. And, you know, regardless of what, it's going down. So it's not going to be canceled anymore. It's going down. Again, Tuesday class, we'll have the info and we'll put that info out so the Moors could get themselves together. So we'll just close out, Moors, to everybody worldwide, Islam to all the master teachers, Islam to all the Moors who've been standing on their nationality and birthrights at the risk of your life, who've been supporting Canaanland Moors all these years. You know, we're going to continue doing the work that we do, get this information, and to make sure our people aren't getting caught up in those schemes that people are doing, trying to rob them out of their birthright. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day, to his holy prophet, noble Jew Ali, Islam. So so we'll just close out with another one. Just, you know, we told y'all we're working on the Iron 7. So we just want to get people hyped so they know what's on the way. Moors, stay true to the cause. We'll correct this thing. Closing out with 7.
Treat 'em right. Treat 'em right. Treat 'em right. Treat 'em right. Moors are here to uplift the nation that's fallen. Instead of buying strip clubs, continuing or falling. Most sisters I know got baby daddy drama. Beating on the mother and he's the grand master. No patriarch or pimpin', you're the god of the earth. He calls it a man bag, I call it what it is, a purse. Making claims of strength but can't give birth. Walk into the room through the doors of the church or temple or tabernacle, they all represent her. The story of the first female popes is a blur, not to mention the women saviors rule from both thrones. His and her throne was her own, as Ma'at holds the scales with no Tahuti. Though he was a sage scribe, he was her worker bee. See the big picture, Tahuti is thought, which represents thought. Divine manifests in mind, moves the thought. Get the mind out the gutter like treat 'em right. You gotta treat the mothers right. Get your mind out the gutter like treat 'em right. You gotta treat our brothers right. Get your mind out the gutter like treat 'em right. You gotta treat the mothers right. Get your mind out the gutter like treat 'em right. You gotta treat our brothers right. Mind is man, but we first like we were taught in ancient schools which were the wombs, even to the tomb, the afterlife womb, born again on another realm or back for more truth about our culture as Moors, more by Ruth. See how far they spread, how deep the roots shoot. Get off the emotions, fire water potions, get the shape out of my sister, not Jurgen's notions. Stop justifying BS. Blaming racism, Biz Kane and G-Rap already erased racism. Go back to Diplo Underground, Tupac, or X-Clan and Fezzes leather that you call it a hat. Go back to medallion strings with beads. Golden era back to question so-called MCs. Clinton smooth operators, Asiatic kings. On a gold throne, four-finger formerly rings. Get your mind out the gutter like you gotta treat the mothers right. Get your mind out the gutter like you gotta treat our brothers right. Get your mind out the gutter like we gotta treat the mothers right. Get your mind out the gutter like we gotta treat our brothers right. Using verse curses, send out orishas, return like boomerangs, demons dropping with seizures. Calling for sweet Jesus, here comes niggas niggas. Black handle hex on those trying to police us. Reverse a spell with white candles, witches clothed as cashiers. Behind bars, sexual energy exchange for beers. And she's getting tips with help from whispering spirits. 285 hertz beats, hypnotized sound, spelling lyrics. So zooked out the mind, can't hear but fear it. When the truth appears, they won't go near it. Songs are like Reiki, blockages, they clear it. So focus on point and diligent, freedom above everything, mind's militant. Like wow, moment eureka when I speak to a sleeper. Make a master fruition and stop being believers. Get the mind out the gutter like you gotta treat the mothers right. Get your mind out the gutter like you gotta treat our brothers right. Get your mind out the gutter like you gotta treat the mothers right. Get your mind out the gutter like you gotta treat our brothers right. Treat them right, yeah. No down alive. Treat them right. Circle 7, y'all. Treat them right. Treat them right. Treat them right.
Peace and love.